power of data, and people talk a lot about big data, we talk about data analytics and what do you do with your data. A lot of people have a lot of data and they collect it, but at the end of the day, what do you do with it? And for us, when we collect data, we need to be able to tell a story. And one of the stories that I can tell you today is about are people coming back to the office or not coming back to the office. And I'm going to take one example, which is one of our buildings, which is the building that we're in right now. And you can judge by yourself at the end, are people coming back into the office or not coming back into the office? So one of the interesting things that you're going to see over here is that we've been collecting data for the last 4 years. So we're very data rich. And this is access control data. So if you see, we can see, pre-COVID, you can see how many people were in our building, and you can see over here that the maximum capacity, we would say that there's roughly 1,200 people in our building. Then COVID hit, so it was a huge drop in coming into the buildings. Then it started going up, and Delta hit, so it went down. Then it started going back up again. Omicron hit, and you see a big dip, and then now we're seeing people returning back into the office. But your question probably is like, is this good or not? So what our management came back to us and said, well, let's create a baseline. What is the maximum capacity that this building can actually have? So we said, all right, one person per 300 square feet. That's what they picked. That's what we decided to go with. So at this point, you can see that maximum capacity in this building would actually be 1,400 people. But we never really had 1,400 people because the building is never really full. What we also did is we went to our customers and we said, all right, what would be the maximum number of people that can ever come and work in your space? And that we will know what really is the maximum amount of people that could ever be in this building. So we only collected this data as of October, so that's why, but we flatlined it across the entire time of the data. So we said maximum that our customers are saying is maximum of 1,200 people can actually be in the building at any given time. But there's other variables. For example, what happens when there's vacancy in the building? Well, we have to adjust also for vacancy. So at the beginning before COVID, when our building was really full and we had 95% occupied, then we had 1,200 people. Now our building is only 78% occupied, but we have 1,008 people coming into the building at any given time, showing that people are coming back into the office. Next thing what we did is we're gonna adjust the baseline that we had 1 to 300 to our vacancy, because this is 1 to 300 when the property is full. But property is not full. So because of that, we're going to look at it right now, and the maximum amount of people that we can have in this building based on our baseline is 1,120 people. Finally, we look at our return to the office, because that's where we really want to understand what's the return rate back into the office. So the graph over here explodes and you see, wow, we're at 97% return. Now, this is a cheat, because we're looking at the data in a monthly basis, which means that if you came into the building once throughout this entire month, I counted you, right? So what we want to do is we want to be able to look at the data on a weekly basis. And when we look at the data on a weekly basis, we can actually see now that the numbers still show very well. At the end of the day, my return rate is 74% into the building. So people are coming back into the office, and we can see that because we have hard data to prove it. And we can do this not only for this building, we can do it across our entire portfolio.